So now we have this piece of fucking shit. Goddamn thing. Highlander the shit. Stain. Ryan Johnson's favorite fucking... No, that was Highlander Endgame. I don't remember fucking... Goddamn movies already killed my brain cells because I'm getting mixed up with Highlander Endgame. Oh, maybe because I just ranted on that piece of shit. And one thing I forgot to fucking mention Highlander Endgame, the rant, is that it has some really shitty digital compositing, like the end with Adrian Paul standing there in front of Christopher Lambert's gravesite that you tell is on a fucking green screen. And I mentioned that because there's a lot more shitty digital compositing in the movie that really makes me want to puke. Dayglow. So 2007, this comes out. This looks like a fucking rejet of He-Man. I've got the power! Yeah, the power to suck ass. Adrian Paul did not want to come back to do another Highlander film because Highlander Endgame sucked so much dick. Then there was talks of having Christopher Lambert back, which I'm like, the guy motherfucker died. But then, well, he died then, but we could always do a shitload of prequels throughout all the years. So that's how they would have Christopher Lambert back, but then he wanted too much money. And like, hey, Adrian Paul, if you come on, man, you'll be one of the producers. And we'll get Brett Leonard, the guy who gave us The Lawnmower Man, which I enjoy. Hideaway with Jeff Goldblum. I don't mind that movie. Virtuosity with Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe. I reviewed that film. I love that film. It's my favorite film the director's done. It's probably my favorite Denzel Washington film. I fucking love Virtuosity. Just because I have the memory of killing your family inside me doesn't mean we can't be friends. You know what? I don't know what the fuck Brett Leonard has done, but if this killed his career, I wouldn't fucking be surprised. Or maybe he did like one little direct to whatever the fuck he did. He hasn't directed as much as he did before this. This was so shitty, it debuted on the Sci-Fi Channel. Not even debuted on DVD, didn't go to theaters, and didn't deserve it. It debuted on the fucking Sci-Fi Channel. That's how fucking bad you movie. You went from Highlander, there can be only one where a lot of people like it, to debuting on the goddamn Sci-Fi Channel. And what's funny, there's a video game sneak peek for a video game that never came out. That's how fucking bad this movie is. There's a video game sneak peek for PlayStation 3 Highlander video game, and it never came out. And I'm sure if you looked at it, it's probably not because of this movie, but maybe it is. Maybe it's like, man, this movie's so shit, don't waste your fucking time on the video game finishing it. So it killed the franchise, it killed the video game. This is so bad they didn't make any more Highlander movies. Now maybe they made some anime or animated movie that I don't know much about. I'm talking about live action. I know there's talks of a remake. I'm sure one day they'll do it, but so far nothing. Maybe for good reason, because a lot of people would say you only needed one movie. And this cover guy, I like the second movie. That's the thing. When people say the second movie is bad, watch this movie and then get back to me. Make the phone call. Matt, I saw this movie. I apologize to Highlander 2. See, I swear to God, before I turned the camera, I did not feel I want to puke. Now I feel I want to puke consistently. Constantly. And this movie is an hour and 26 minutes with credits. Without them, an hour and 20 minutes is still fucking the worst Highlander film ever. And people are like, well, man, what's the problem? Shitloads of problems. The music sucks dick. There's the worst cover version of Princess of the Universe. There's a part where this one of the fuck band Gundam Style is a better fucking song than this version of Princess of the Universe. In this goddamn movie. Don't believe me? Look it up. This is a guy like killing rock and roll, as Ford Fairlane would say. Like instead of Queen, Princes of the Universe, which I don't know why did they just not get Queen? That song got used in like the whole fucking TV show. Some fucking bands like the Princes of the Universe. Horrible. I can't stress how horrible it is. Look it up on YouTube. I'm sure someone put it on YouTube. Highlander, the Source, Princes of the Universe. Somehow there's a way for you to find it. Take a listen. The effects. The effects, I've seen Nostalgia Critic. His movies have better digital compositing. That's not an exaggeration. I have seen people on YouTube have better special effects, digital compositing than a feature-length movie. And thankfully, I only pay like $1 or $2 for this. But if you're wondering, that or someone sent it to me, and I don't remember. That might have been the case too. If someone sent this to me years ago, I apologize. I forgot. And if that didn't, I can't. It's like PTSD with this movie. I can't remember. I'm sure when I saw it, I wanted to forget everything about it. The villain. The villain is this albino asshole. It's an albino wearing a gimp outfit. With at first a boat on his fucking head. Literally, when you watch clips, pictures, it looks like a fucking boat on his head. Like it goes from here to here, covers his face here, as if it's an upside down pyramid head. You look at it, it's like a fucking boat. And it's there, granted, to save his head from people cutting it off. And okay, the idea made sense to have some type of armor so that no one can cut your head off, because that's the only way these immortals can die. Even by the movie's logic, the motherfucker in its first fight uses it and never uses it again. You would think they want to bring back that collar in the fight with Adrian Paul at the end. Never does. It's literally like they shot it in sequence and they said, that looks fucking stupid, this thing that looks like a boat on his head. Let's get rid of it. You know what you could have done? You could have had some other type of armor. Better looking armor. Like why not like a chainmail, but in a way that covers the neck, or maybe like like a knight's helmet that covers like something. I guarantee there's a better way to have done it. And why does the guy look like an albino gimp with this outfit? It looks like a sex toy mixed with a white dildo. And then the guy's performance is completely cartoonish goofball. He's never serious. This guy, at one time, he gets hit by a car by this guy named Joe. He's like, hey, Joe! Like, hey, Joe! As he got hit by a car, he's flying 80 feet in the air. There's literally another moment where he sings, who wants to live forever? He's literally singing the goddamn Queen song. What's one of the first things he says when he meets Adrian Paul? It's like, it's the apocalypse, or like, it's the end of the world. It's this is the end of time. He literally sings it. Like he jumps up, this is the end of time. And he talks fucked up. Like this is a villain. There's been some shitty villains like Bruce Payne. There's been some stuff to laugh with like Marvin Peebles. This is utter cartoon. And a shitty cartoon at that. It's post-apocalyptic, which I'm like, if I want to watch that, I'll watch Highlander 2, which is a much better movie than this, and I didn't say that with a straight face. Adrian Paul, I'm not big on. He's given nothing to do in this movie, character-wise. He has his wife character. There was this character in the last film that when you watch the DVD, she survived. I don't know how the fuck she survived, but she's there at the end. She doesn't appear in this movie. It's like another fucking retcon. Did Highlander Endgame even happen within this movie? I don't know why it's a post-apocalyptic. It's just a woman narrating the world went into chaos and decay. How? I don't know. Even Highlander 2 explained it with the ozone layer. Granted, it's batshit insane with how they did it, but at least they did it. There's no explanation in this. It was like a bad screen, bad green screen, bad digital compositing. It looks cheap. And Brett Leonard is an effects guy. And he looked at this and said, a thumbs up? Sorry, man. For 2007, let alone now, it didn't cut it. And the directing, Brett Leonard, it's his worst film. Easily Brett Leonard's worst film. And his worst case of directing. This guy forgot everything he learned on The Lawnmower Man, Hideaway, Virtuosity. He forgot everything. He does an abuse of slow motion. He uses slow motion terribly. Adrian Paul at the beginning thinks he's fucking Batman. This slow motion that goes on for way too fucking long invites these two guys assaulting a lady. Then you cut to this one guy going to this tower, I guess to talk to people. And I forgot what the fuck info he gave them. I have this map. Oh shit, I don't have the map. And the source. And it's like, what the fuck is the source? Oh, by the way, this whole scene when he's talking to these guys, there's one guy who looks like fucking Albert Wesker from Resident Evil, waiting for the motherfuckers to try to kill Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine. And he's a religious guy. And literally his entire room is so CGI. I swear, the fucking candles are CGI. The candles. You can't get real fucking candles. Urgh. You can't get real fucking candles for Albert Wesker. This is one of the worst goddamn movies out there. Like, technically, on a technical matter, it's one of the worst sequels. Because nothing in this film works. The action is piss poor. It's horribly choreographed. The villain, oh, here's another thing with the villain. He moves like the Flash, and it does this shitty blur effect anytime a fight scene happens. And then at the end of the film, for some reason, Adrian Paul has the super speed. I don't think the movie ever explains why. And they're both having this blur, super fast fight. And Adrian Paul doesn't have a sword anymore. He has these, like, what do you call them, butterfly swords. It's two things. I think one review put it, it's like everything that's Highlander, the total opposite is this movie. And okay, going back to the beginning, when the guy needs a password for his computer, the password is him saying there can be only one. There can be only one, yeah. And then this is where he's talking to that religious guy, looks like Wesker, in the fucking room. Even the candles are CGI. Then the albino villain, the sex dip garb, comes in with boat on his face. Boat man. Boat dip man. comes in, moves like the Flash. He tears a security guy's head off, which isn't as cool as it sounds. Gives shitty fight, an abuse of slow motion, an abuse of the stupid blur effect, looks fucking goofy, cuts the guy's head off, embarrassing effects of the quickening. Effects in 1986 are kicking your ass. That was 21 years before this movie. 2007, 1986. And he had effects that were worse than they were 20 years ago. Before that. And the villain's name is called the Guardian of the Source. Oh yeah, what's the Source? Well, it's no longer there could be only one, so there's this gathering where you gotta fight. No, it's some source that was never talked about in any of the fucking movies before. They have to go there to, and then like the planets are aligning, and there's shots of the fucking planets literally aligning themselves. I'm sure if you're a science major, you would be ripping your fucking ass hairs out about that. But if the movie's good, I wouldn't give a shit. I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit, but I'm having fun. There's nothing fun about this fucking flick. And at times the movie's trying to be so flashy, flash cuts, and it's just annoying. It's irritating, it makes my balls itch. Tries to have a fight with Adrian Paul, the villain, after showing this is the end of time. Talk's all fucked up. Joe, I don't know much of the show. I've seen bits and pieces of the show. I wasn't a fan. The show wasn't my cup of tea. But I know enough it that there was this guy named Joe who's a watcher. They watch the Immortals. He's a friend of Duncan MacLeod, Adrian Paul's character. And hits the villain, and the villain literally goes, "Hey, Joe!" Granted, I don't know how the fuck the villain knows who Joe is, because the villain has never met these characters before and just appeared now. But I guess he knows everything. I guess that's why. It's those two, this tech guy, the religious guy, this other guy, I forgot what the fuck the guy's name was. He was in Highlander Endgame, though. And then the woman who was Duncan MacLeod's wife, they all go to this monastery. Because Duncan's wife has visions. And they see this guy named the Elder, and he tells a story about the last group who tried to get to the source. And the Elder tried to get it, failed. Now he's this decayed mess. Another guy tried to get it. He became the new Guardian to replace the old Guardian of the Source. They did exposition. They leave. You have the fucking scene where the villain sings, "Who wants to live forever?" And I'm like, really? 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 The people making this film saw this and went, green light, print, check the gate, let's move on. Let's not edit that shit out. Was Brett Leonard on drugs when he made this, or what? This bad guy, the bad guy tries to fight the tech guy who's an immortal on holy ground, which I thought that was a no-no, but I guess the villain doesn't give a shit. So Duncan, well, Joe the Watcher shoots the guy with a shotgun. Then the guy's trying to kill Joe, and then Duncan throws a sword at the guy's neck, the bad guy, and the bad guy just takes it and stabs Joe. And even the death scene of that guy Joe was ridiculous. You know Deadpool 2, there's a death scene at the end which they totally make fun of, right? That is done here for real. That's how long this fucking death scene happens. What they parody in Deadpool 2, they do for real in this movie. Where it's hammy, it's ridiculous, it's over the top, and it's laughable. You are my best friend. It feels like it goes on for 5 minutes. I'm like, these are grown men making this movie. I've seen fan films on YouTube for free that did it better. I could make a better Highlander movie. If there was 5 minutes of me in my underwear fighting someone with a sword, cutting his head off, which would be only one, and then you just see 3 windows break, it would be a better fucking movie than this. Because at least it'd be short. Hey, at least that was only 5 minutes long. I didn't have shitty CGI. And a fucking albino gimp villain. So they need to go by boat. They get there. There's these cannibals. There's cannibals now in this movie. Who have this guy stuck in a thing of tires. Ready to torch him. They have this shitty fight scene. At one point, Duncan throws his pole and stabs a person, and the truck crashes and blows up. Boring fucking fight. And then after that, there's a montage of them walking and driving to that shitty, horrible version of the Princes of the Universe. I feel like I want to puke. They go to a house. Duncan and his wife love each other again. You have this sex scene by a tree that looks uncomfortable as hell. Try fucking by a tree. It's uncomfy. And the tech guy, the immortal, he gets slashed up to shit. I don't know why the guy doesn't cut his head off, because isn't that when you cut people's head off, you get the power? But I guess the thing is, and this is why, the Elder explained, the closer they get to the source, the more mortal they are. So while he didn't, they don't really have the power anymore of immortality, this guy got sliced to shit and then come back and died. So they're mortals now. So you have the source that comes out of fucking nowhere. Then you take away the immortality, which is part of the fucking movie, the premise. I think by this point, Duncan doesn't have his sword anymore. Yeah, because the villain broke it and stabbed Joe. So that's why he has the butterfly swords instead of the usual one sword you. That's funny. He doesn't wield this fucking sword at all, now that I think about it. I think at the beginning he just has a katana, and then at the end of the film, he just has the 2 smaller butterfly swords. So he never uses this fucking sword in this movie that looks like, Conor MacLeod's, big broadsword. This is never in the movie, this sword. Now I think about it, that's never in the fucking movie. It's not in the movie. Of course, usually the front cover's not in the movie, but even that sword is not in the movie. The cannibals catch him in the woods. They tie him up. The bad guy gets the girl and makes the girl follow him. The religious guy gets out but leaves their ass because he's an asshole. The other 2 get out by this fire. They deal with these assholes in the woods. The religious fuck gets his head cut off. You have this fight in a pit. The one guy says, "You're the one who can do it, Duncan. I'm getting the fuck out of here, and I'm going to lead these cannibals away from you." So Duncan is now in the pit with the albino asshole. and his wife with a shitty, horrendous digital composite of the planets aligning in the background, all this blue fucking light shit. Again, nostalgia credit has better production values than this movie, and that's fucking sad. But if people think I'm exaggerating, watch the film, then tell me. Need to get water for this. I don't want my voice to go out. And then for some reason, Adrian Paul's character can move like the Flash as well. And their fight scene is all this blur. I can't even do it. It's like, and they're like the bad guy's on his back. If you think Highlander 2 is bad, if you really think when you watch the special edition of Highlander 2 on DVD, and you think that's a bad movie, watch this movie, please. If you don't like both of them, fine. But you can't tell me that that's worse than this. You can, that's your opinion, but I wholeheartedly disagree. On every level. This is the worst Highlander movie by far. And one of the worst sequels of all time. On a technical note, on a filmmaking note, on a directing note. Now, I don't know, I'm getting so pissed off because it was a shitty movie, that's why. It just wasted my fucking time. And he does this Benny Hill fucking going around the merry-go-round with the villain, and somehow that makes the villain be in the fucking sand as if it was Nuclear Man putting Superman in the moon. Just now the bad guy is in the sand up to almost his neck. Somehow, just by, I guess Adrian Paul stole the move from a Superman movie. Now the whole theme with Highlander all along is there can be only one. I'm sneezing because I'm allergic to the bullshit that I'm about to talk about. He's ready to take the head, and the bad guy's like, "Go ahead, you motherfucker." I think he even calls it like "fucker" or "motherfucker." You take my head. Apparently, that's the wrong thing to do now. The whole thing that you're supposed to take the heads. No, you're not supposed to do that anymore. That's not the thing. It's not a test of strength. It's a test of purity of heart. So by Duncan not cutting the villain's head off, he wins and the villain disappears in white light. He just disappears because of purity of heart. And then the ending is just a recap of the entire movie that you just fucking saw. That you just fucking saw. And then it's Duncan and his wife in white light. It looks like shit. And then a kid, a baby, in white light. One review said it looked like the fucking Star Child from 2001. Like a user on IMDb. And I think someone says he is the one. What, Neo? Did he give birth to fucking Neo? Is this a prequel to The Matrix? No, now they have the ability to have kids. So now what? He is the one. I can't remember if they said that. If not, that's what they implied. The baby's the one. So they gave birth to Neo, I guess. I can't, that was 1999, this is 2007, so. Is this a backdoor prequel? Apparently, from what I understand, there's supposed to be 3 movies. There are going to be 2 more movies after this. I guess maybe the second one, maybe they would have to protect the baby. This is what I'm guessing. Maybe in the second one, they would have to protect the baby from people who want to kill the baby because, oh, the baby's the one, and if we kill the baby, we'll get its power or something. So it's maybe Adrian and the girl, protecting the baby. And then maybe the third one, the kid is growing up, and then he's like the opposite of Damien. Instead for evil, good, and then, hey, if you ever do another one, that kid will be the new Highlander. So, maybe Adrian Paul's character would die, and then the kid would be like, there could be only one. And then if they ever did more movies, that kid, I don't know, his name would be, I don't know, Charlie MacLeod. I don't fucking know what his name would be. You Connor, you Duncan, C, D, E, Ethan MacLeod. I don't know. Edward MacLeod. Eddie MacLeod. There you go, Eddie MacLeod. The Clan MacLeod. And then what's sad about this DVD, this has a feature-length documentary for when the film was made. And that's how I know a lot of this was shot on a fucking green screen, because there's a lot of green screen on the behind-the-scenes features. Yeah, this has what time it was being made, this has a feature-length documentary. A feature-length documentary for this fucking movie. And I did a video game sneak peek for a video game that was never finished. And this movie seems like it's not fucking finished. But I'm fucking finished. I'll never watch that fucking movie again, man. I think I broke the disc. I do not care. This movie is a total piece of shit. This movie is... I'm not even the big diehard fan of Highlander. I like the first one. I have fun with the batshit insanity of the second one. The third one is just okay. It's just way too much of a remake of the first one. They did that because of how different they tried to be the second one, but I appreciate how different the second one was trying to be. I really do. The fourth one, Endgame, is shitty for what it did with its characters, especially with Christopher Lambert's character. This one, on a directing note, on a technical note, on a filmmaking, there's no filmmaking in this. There's fuck shitting. What does that mean? It means someone going fuck, shit, fuck. Throughout the whole production. Shitty versions of Prince's Universe. Mocking Who Wants to Live Forever? The goofiest fucking villain you would see outside of a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon. With Boat Gimp, the albino sex toy. The acting sucks. The direction sucks. The blur effects, the digital compositing, horrendous. The story doesn't make any fucking sense. Has no bearing with any of the films before. There's no fucking source. They got rid of them being more, and Highlander 1, it made sense at the end. That's the prize. Here, what was the prize? There's no prize. I guess it was a lie all the time because the source is just to get laid and have a kid and then he'll be Neo. You don't even need your sword anymore. Just have the two butterfly swords. And you don't need to cut heads anymore. You need to be a good person. Purity of heart. Just be a good person and the bad guy will disappear in white light. I bet if you did that with Clancy Brown, he would just cut your head off and shove the spine up your ass that came out with your head. If you did that with Michael Ironside, you'd get the broadsword up your ass and the tip coming out of your mouth. If you did that with Mark Van Peebles, you'd probably get a sorcery staff up your fucking pee hole. It's like, but I'm a nice guy, purity of heart. But this guy dies from purity of heart. I will not kill you, because I'm a good guy. And you know what? Maybe if you want to go that route, you have to do it well. With a good script, direction, This doesn't have that. So you just fucked up. And that's the end of the Highlander reviews. Because I don't really want to check out the cartoon, the animes. I'm not interested. I'm not much into the TV series. I just wanted to focus on the 5 live action movies. This is the last live action movie until the inevitable remake happens. But I don't look forward to a remake. I honestly don't see how it could be worse than this, though. Of course, those are usually a person's last words before something horrendous happens. But just Highlander, you don't. It didn't need to be a big series of movies. It really didn't. This is a franchise that never needed to be a franchise. I think a lot of people will agree with that. I'm gonna get some water because I'm dying. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you later. Bye bye.